Madam Chair, Chris Daly, Nevada State Education Association. We spoke in favor of this bill the last time around to repeal the Achievement School District. NSEA continues to advocate the repeal of the ASD is the wrong answer for Nevada's struggling schools. And we would point no further than the January FBI raid of the Celerity Education Group as really emblematic of the lack of accountability built into that model. I do think it's appropriate that we acknowledge Senator Dennis and the efforts of this work group to find a solution to this, and we do want to also acknowledge some of the improvements of the A+ model over the Achievement Charter conversion model, notably that educators would be employed under MOUs and be a part of the union in that model. And so, I think that is a worthy thing perhaps to look at moving forward into the future. However, our concerns with the amendment, I think, supersede those upsides. First of all, the parent opt-in provisions has the feel of a parent trigger without educator input in terms of possible conversion. The specter of contracting out of services at these A+ school sites remains in this legislation, especially those services that are performed by education support professionals. The provisions that would allow for waivers of regulations and even statutes without stronger guiding language gives us pause. I know that we heard from some speakers that there were two options. We respectfully disagree, and we are seeking a third option to repeal the achievement charter school conversions and then to look at ways in which we can invest in and give real autonomy and accountability and resources to the struggling schools that need it. We are committed to pursuing this third option in this session, in the interim, and in the next session. Thank you.
Thank you. And Senator Hammond has a
Mr.
question
Daley.
for you. Mr. Daley.
I appreciate your comments. It seems to me that you at least talked about what you did like about the bill. I'm struggling because to me it did seem like we were getting into an option. First of all, could you comment, and I hate to give you the audience actually, but I'm going to ask you anyway, because it seems like the bill provides, one, the option to put a high quality administrator in there, presumably somebody from the Clark County School District, unless you'd want somebody up north or somebody else from around the state to come in. But it just seems like you're giving a little bit more autonomy to that administrator, charge them up, get them ready to work, allow them, with the cooperation of the school organization team, to staff the school. So you're actually getting buy-in from the community there. It seems like all the assets remain in Clark County School District, the buildings and so forth, which was a point of contention during the original hearings with the regulation hearings down south. The potential waiver, I see you don't like that part of it. I think it's kind of nice because now you're getting these really high quality administrators saying this is the regulation that seems to be an impediment to really allowing us to do things. If you could do that. Again, I think we're only talking about 6 schools in total. We're still talking about 6 schools. It gives them more autonomy. And you heard a lot of the comments about, these models and what they do for student achievement, less school discipline and so forth. If you could just provide us a minute of comment, that'd be great.
Through the chair to Senator Hammond, thank you for the extra time. I appreciate it. We, NSEA, did participate in a handful of meetings with Senator Dennis and the department and others, and I think that you are correct. There are some merits to the A+ proposal. I think that there are more merits to the A+ model than the achievement charter school conversion model. Unfortunately, the language in front of us adds the A+ to the ASD or achievement charter school conversion model. If it were a replacement of that model, I think we very well might be speaking from a different table on this, but it's just another model that's given. It does not address the fact that I think that performance of these achievement charter schools has shown to have been poor and other places that it's been implemented. And on the whole, NSEA opposes this legislation as it's currently drafted. I think that we were making some progress, but I think that, time is running out, and then ultimately, the putting of the A+ on top of the achievement charter conversion just makes this cumbersome. It doesn't address our fundamental concerns with the achievement charter schools. We want to see that scrapped. At that point, I think looking at other interventions, perhaps similar to the A+ model, may have a lot of merit.
And I appreciate your comment. I appreciate you taking the time to listen. Of course, one of the things and I don't necessarily need a comment back, but one of the things I thought was happening is that parents didn't feel like they were getting a choice in what direction their poor quality, low performing school was going. And this actually does that. It allows them to talk about what they would want to have when we talk about, having an achievement school, allowing them to say, well, we'd rather have an A+ system rather than a quality charter come in, but it gives them a little bit more choice. I'll leave with that. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
And just through the chair to Senator Hammond, while I wouldn't necessarily disagree with all you're saying, we've also heard from parents who choose not to have the achievement charter school conversion model, and so far they have not been listened to in this process. And so I hear what you're saying. If they're caught in this process, that this would potentially give them the choice of the achievement charter school conversion or the A+. But we've heard loud and clear from parents, especially in the process last fall, that they did not want the achievement charter school conversion, and that would be still on the books with this legislation.